My beloved child, I have seen many of you walk in the light only to pull the dark veil over yourselves. The words I've spoken have been repeated again and again, yet your ears have grown more accustomed to the noise of the world than to the echo of truth. I am not angry, but my heart aches, for I know this: those who refuse my voice will never enter the eternal rest. The time has come for me to cease speaking softly and to speak with weighty silence, for at times silence itself is the final warning. I have seen many of you walk in the light only to pull the dark veil over yourselves. The words I have spoken have been repeated again and again, yet your ears have grown more accustomed to the noise of the world than to the echo of truth. I am not angry, but my heart aches, for I know this: those who refuse my voice will never enter the eternal rest. The time has come for me to cease speaking softly and to speak with weighty silence, for at times silence itself is the final warning. Compromise does not always wear the face of rebellion. It is light as breath, gentle as a lullaby, yet it lulls faith to sleep. You do not reject me outright. You merely postpone what I invite you to. A prayer tomorrow, a reading of the Word when there's time, and you forget that time is never a loyal friend. The oil in your lamp runs low while you imagine yourself blazing bright until night falls, and you realize you are seated in the dark. Many step out from where the light dwells, yet still wish to keep the warmth of grace. You do not know that a single small step away from the Lord can become an abyss if you keep walking. At first it is only a day without prayer, then a week without seeking. My voice grows faint amid 1,000 other sounds: work, social media, relationships that bear no fruit. Your soul becomes parched, yet you soothe yourself: everything is fine. You do not see that fine is the lullaby of one asleep in a burning house, unaware they are about to be consumed. There are some who do not realize they are drifting from the Lord because their hearts are full of self-possession. You think yourself strong, wise enough to decide everything, and you call your deviation freedom. You make small compromises with sin and tell yourself, God understands me. Then you repeat it day after day until that little bit becomes a groove. Chains grow so familiar that you mistake them for comforting arms, but child chains, gilded or not, are still chains. And freedom without me is only lostness adorned with illusion. There are some who do not realize they are drifting from the Lord because their hearts are full of self-possession. You think yourself strong, wise enough to decide everything, and you call your deviation freedom. You make small compromises with sin and tell yourself, God understands me. Then you repeat it day after day until that little bit becomes a groove. Chains grow so familiar that you mistake them for comforting arms, but child chains, gilded or not, are still chains, and freedom without me is only lostness adorned with illusion. Child, I have seen in your soul a very small crack, seemingly harmless, yet a doorway for darkness to slip in. It is delay wrapped in sugar-coated reasons. I'm tired tomorrow, just a little longer. I have heard those words thousands of times in the heart of humanity and in the whispers of many who once loved me deeply. Delay never arrives with a grim face. It comes softly in the voice of a familiar friend. It's fine, there's still tomorrow. And so day by day your soul sleeps under the notion that all is well while the inner light dwindles like a lamp that has run out of oil. Know this: the enemy of the soul does not always arrive as a great temptation, but as the slow drip of later. He need not incite rebellion, he need only breed delay. For when your soul grows accustomed to spiritual laziness, you will snuff out your own hunger to seek me. I see you reach for your phone upon waking instead of reaching for prayer. I see you skim my word as though it were an old article. I hear you say, I believe, Lord, but I'm busy these days. Child, no one is so busy that they cannot whisper to the one who gives them breath. In truth, you do not lack time, you lack longing. And when longing fades, faith grows thin as morning mist present, yet unable to hold its shape. I remember one much like this Saul who heard my voice on the road to Damascus. Light cast him to the ground, and in his blindness he heard me say, "Saul, why do you persecute me?" He did not delay. He asked at once, "Lord, what do you want me to do?" That question opened a new road, turning a persecutor into an apostle. Had Saul hesitated that day, let me think about it, perhaps history would not know him as Paul. Do you see? One decisive moment stepping at once, when the call is heard, can change a life. The smallest spiritual delay, repeated, becomes an invisible chain. You think yourself free while bound by your own hesitation. I do not reproach you for being weak, for I know your flesh grows weary and your mind grows worn. But child, it is precisely when you are tired that you need me most. Many of my children wait until things are calm before they pray, when it is the very chaos that is the invitation to come. Do not wait for peace to seek me, for only I can give the peace you are waiting for. When you place me at the end of the list to do when free, you unwittingly declare that I am not important enough. And when I am pushed to the last place, the dark within you will claim the voice teaching you to call indifference, balance, and spiritual sloth rest. True rest comes only in my arms, not in spiritual distraction. Remember, the oil in the lamp does not refill itself. Your soul cannot burn forever on yesterday's flame. Each morning you awaken, I wait to pour out more oil of the word of prayer of nearness. But if you keep saying tomorrow, your lamp will run dry without your knowing. Then one day when I knock, you will no longer hear my voice, for my voice resounds only in those who are awake. You will ask, "Where is God?" while it was you who closed your heart with every later. Therefore, child, I call you back, not by long strides, but by one small decision now. Say a word to me, even one. Open the scriptures, even a passage. Whisper a prayer, even a minute. At times, that single minute is the last thread keeping your soul from unraveling. I am here, still never having left, waiting only for you to pause so that I may enter. Do not grant delay. Another chance for darkness need not seize you. It needs only that you fail to return in time. And when you begin to seek me again, you will see indifference is but a mask over a heart that longs and has lost the path home. From the moment you light the lamp, once more you will see more clearly. There are souls far from the light still trying to draw warmth from the cold. From here you will understand that to be far from the source, yet still demand warmth. This is the next step I wish to speak to you about. There are souls who think they live in the light, when in truth they are merely sitting near an old flame. Child, I have seen many leave the place where I dwell and still hope to keep my warmth within. They walk farther away, carrying a lamp with spent oil, believing the flame of memory is enough to guide them. But light once severed from its source will soon go out. The farther you go, the more the darkness swallows you until you can no longer discern the boundary between true warmth and the counterfeit fire the world creates. You do not notice the moment you drift away. It always begins with small steps, with reasons that seem reasonable. I need time for myself. I just want a little rest. I still believe I just don't feel like praying. Each excuse is a stone paving the road that leads the soul from the circle of light. Then a day comes when you feel empty and do not know why. I stand where I have always stood, yet between us lies a distance that only repentance can bridge. Child, when you are far from me, you can still hear of me, read of me, speak of me, but you no longer sense me. Like one listening to a once beloved song and hearing only melody, not the heart. Darkness does not steal your memory, it severs your connection. And when you are no longer bound to the source of light, you seek warmth elsewhere, in success, in recognition, in the praise of people. But the world's warmth is a flame that dies quickly. It warms you for a moment and leaves only cold ash. And you as well. I do not demand perfection before you draw near. I only ask you to stop to look and to recognize how far you have gone. Sometimes it is enough to breathe out and say, "Lord, I am cold, and I will come at once," as a father hearing a small child in the night. My warmth is not a prize for the righteous, but the restoring breath for the trembling who return. Do not seek fire from human hands, for that fire can light your face but cannot warm your soul. When you return to me, the light will not only shine upon you, it will dwell within you. Then you will know I never left. It was you who veiled your eyes with the mist of the world. My light has not gone out. You simply no longer look toward it. And when you turn back, all that seemed cold will be warmed again, not by a new flame, but by the old love that has never died. You will see then that distance never stands still. It always leads to dryness. When the soul no longer feels warmth, it turns to illusions to replace it. And from this you will understand why many, clothed in self-satisfaction, boast of freedom, thinking themselves strong, while unknowingly walking away from the light. Child, I have seen many souls sit in darkness and still claim they shine. It is not that they seek to deceive me. It is that they have believed the illusion of freedom whispered by the dark. Some say, "I know God, I believe in God. I need not be bound by small things." They imagine themselves living in grace, yet hide within a complacency dressed in piety. I watch them walk with confident steps, but child confidence not born of me will sooner or later lead to the abyss. Complacency is the sweetest of all deceits, for it convinces the soul it need not change. When you cease to seek me, it is not because you have lost faith, but because you have decided you are enough. Spiritual pride always comes in a charming guise. It makes you proud of your morality, your steady prayers, your flawless observances. Yet while you count your deeds, you forget that love is not measured by outward acts, but by a heart that knows how to bow low. When you believe yourself better than others, you have stepped outside the arms of grace without even knowing it. I do not fault you when you want to be strong, to be independent, to take charge of your life, for I myself gave you a will. But child, the will was never meant to replace faith. When you lean on your own strength, you shoulder a burden only I am able to bear. You try to prove you're fine, that you need no one, that God knows I've done my best. Yet I do not ask you to do your best. I ask you to surrender your strength. True freedom does not come from self-reliance, but from entrusting yourself. Self-satisfaction is the path that makes you forget the simplest truth. You are not the source of the light. You are a lamp that must be filled with oil each day. Do you know compromise begins the moment you think, "This little bit won't matter"? A small concession repeated long enough becomes a habit. You call it flexibility, but the darkness calls it new chains. And the most frightening thing, child, is when those chains are wrapped in the velvet of pleasure, making you comfortable in your prison. You tell yourself you are free, yet you have locked the door of grace with the very key of pride. Then you sit inside your room of self-reliance, unaware that the door is bolted, the light is out, and only the echo of your own breath remains. I, the one who fashioned your soul, did not make you to fend for yourself. I want you truly free, a freedom, not born of doing whatever you wish, but of abiding in me. For only in me are you no longer bound by anything. You need not prove you are strong. You need only dare to admit you are weak. When you humble yourself, I lift you up. When you hold your head high in pride, you drift from the hand that can raise you. Self-satisfaction is the beautiful dream of a sleeping soul, and only when you awaken in the light will you see it for what it is, a sweet but perilous illusion. And when you open your eyes from that dream, you will hear other whispers, words honeyed yet false, a tangle of truth and lie. That is when you must choose whom to believe, my voice or the voice of the thief of souls. For after self-satisfaction comes the most vulnerable hour, when you trust lies more than the gospel, not realizing that your heart has begun to doubt the mercy that is greater than sin. Child, there is a kind of darkness that does not arrive with threats but with a whisper. It need not shout to frighten you. It speaks just softly enough to make you doubt. God doesn't love you anymore. You've committed this sin so many times. Are you still worthy? Others are far better than you. You hear such words and mistake them for conscience when in truth they are the invisible cords the enemy winds around your heart. Once you begin to believe them, the gospel in you loses its sweetness, and grace feels distant, like a tale told of someone else. Some of my children once shone with vibrant faith, yet slowly they grew silent, not because I stopped speaking, but because too many other voices crowded in between. The voice of the world, of fear, of old sins, of a past not yet forgiven. You start to fear drawing near to me, to fear looking into my word, to fear prayer, as though I would scold you when all I long to do is hold you. That fear is the greatest shadow sin casts, for it makes you imagine that I wait to condemn, not that I am the Father thirsting to forgive. Do you remember Adam and Eve? When they ate the forbidden fruit, they did not only sin, they believed a lie. The serpent never forced them. It merely sowed the thought God is keeping good from you. With just that seed of doubt, trust fell. From then until now, the enemy has used the same old trick to make you believe I am not as good as I say. It drives you away from me toward cheap grace, toward fleeting pleasures meant to fill the void. But child, there is no grace greater than that I died for you, and no sin deep enough to bury that love. I see you trembling, afraid you have gone too far. You kneel but dare not ask. You think God forgives others, but will He forgive me? In that very moment, child, you have already believed a lie. Grace does not discriminate between small sins and great. It waits only for the door of the heart to open. I do not count how many times you fall. I wait for the instant you turn back. Do not fear me. Fear the widening distance each time you hide, for when you avoid me, you do not wound me. You only numb your own ability to sense the love that still surrounds you. When you believe the lie, you slowly forget my voice. True and false mingle until you no longer know what is command and what is coaxing. The enemy need not incite rebellion, it need only sow confusion, and a bewildered soul is led farther astray than a mistaken one. I do not want you to live in fear of judgment. I want you to live in the certainty that I have borne it all. When you return, I do not ask, why did you fall? I ask, will you stand with me? For to me, what matters is not how many times you fall, but whether you let me lift you every time. Stop heeding the voice that closes your heart. Come back to my word, where truth does not scream yet is strong enough to scatter deceit. Each time you read the word, you step closer to me. Each time you pray, you recover the true voice amid 1,000 false. Remember, faith is not a feeling, but a choice to trust in the dark, choosing what is right, even when all around you says it is wrong. Then as you begin to hear again the gentle speaking within you, will discover that no lie is stronger than the love I bear for you. Child, the darkness never willingly falls silent. It will try to flood your ears, your eyes, your mind with noise so you can no longer hear me. That is when you must be most watchful. For once the heart no longer turns toward the source of light, it is easily lost among 1,000 other sounds. And here you will understand distraction and noise are the last field where the darkness seeks to hold your soul by harmless seeming diversions that slowly suffocate the holy presence that once gave you life. Child, the world today is so loud. Sounds, images, news, endless streams pour into the human heart, leaving the soul with no room for silence. I see you, eyes open, heart-weary mind spinning with all there is to remember, to do, to prove. You say you are just a little busy, yet in the busy you slowly forget how to listen. I do not condemn you, for I know you do not stray on purpose. But it is the small things, a post, a message, a fleeting thrill, that quietly slip into the place where I once dwelt within you. Long ago I spoke to Elijah in a gentle whisper, not in the storm, not in the quake, but in the still small voice. Yet now my voice struggles to reach you, because your soul no longer keeps a quiet space to hear. Your eyes open to the glow of a screen before the light of the sun touches you. Your hand reaches for a device before it reaches for scripture. You speak with the world more than with your Father. Then you wonder why your soul is parched, why prayer feels heavy, why I seem silent. Child, I have never been silent. Your heart has only been too noisy to hear. Distraction is the sweet snare of the age. It does not drive you into obvious sin. It dulls your hunger for holiness. It teaches you to trade a sacred inheritance for momentary satisfaction, and you call it balance. You forget that the soul lives not by information but by presence. When you give hours to the world and only minutes to me, you are trading gold for sand. And I, though it grieves me, stand at the door of your heart and wait for the sound of the key, for I do not enter where too many other voices are praised above mine. I know the world wears you down. You want to forget the loneliness for a while, so you let yourself be swept along by all there is to do, to watch, to say. But busyness cannot heal emptiness. It only keeps you from noticing you are empty. When you become still, the hollow finally shows, and only then can I fill it. You need not hide in noise to feel alive. Dare to remain in the quiet and sense that I am present. For at times I do not arrive with thunder, but with a breath so light, only the truly still can hear it. I remember Martha and Mary. When I came to their home, Martha hurried to prepare everything. Mary sat at my feet and listened. Martha did nothing wrong, yet Mary chose the better part. Do you see, what delights me is not how many things your hands accomplish, but whether your heart makes room for me. I understand your busy love, but if love makes you drift from me, it is no longer true love. My presence is not proved by activity, but by a quiet heart that knows to whom it belongs. Child, when all the noise fades, you will realize one thing I have never left. Only when the world falls silent do you hear the knock at your door. I do not pound, for true love does not coerce. I tap gently, waiting for you to be still long enough to hear. Do not let what is passing take the place where I long to dwell. Withdraw from the crowd, shut off the senseless clamor, and let your heart return to its first rhythm, the place where you and I once met with nothing between us and no one in the way. And when you stop, when your breath slows and your mind stops running, you will see I am still here, still waiting, still loving, still with arms wide. All noise will dissolve, all false lights will dim, but the true light never abandons the one who seeks it. Come home, my child, to the quiet where I am knocking. Let me speak with you as at the beginning. Only then will you truly hear the warmth, the light, the love that never goes out. Do not take this moment lightly, for it is not a mere passing instant in the endless flow of time, but the convergence of destiny, the sacred breath the universe has held back just for you. Before earth and sky were formed, before the first light was called forth from the dark, I knew you. I beheld your path, every step, every tear, every secret longing within your soul. This moment is not random, not coincidence, but a holy appointment set between the Creator and a soul yearning to find the wellspring of life. Beloved child, do not let the world steal this moment from your hands. The clamor of sounds, the blinding lights, the things that seem so important, all are but a thin mist on the wind. Stop, let your soul rest, let the breath of silence touch the depths within. Lay down the screens that capture your gaze, quiet the siren calls that crowd around you, until only you and I remain in a wordless space saturated with presence. I do not speak by sound, for my word does not enter through the human ear, but resounds in the spirit like holy water running through the desert of a parched heart. Can you feel it? In this moment, a gentle, otherworldly breeze is passing over you. It does not come from any horizon. It rises from the deepest place within, from the ground where I planted the seed of life, where my spirit dwells. That trembling you cannot explain is eternity, touching the temporal, the infinite brushing against a finite soul. You have long thought you were living, yet you have only been existing amid scattered echoes, chasing the silhouettes of things that promise fullness, but leave you emptier. You have drunk from dry wells, sought happiness in passing joys, only to thirst more than before. Still I wait for you. I have never turned away, never ceased to hope. When you collapse at the crossroads of your wandering, I am the one standing at the end of the road, arms open, waiting for a single glance back, for a single breath from a soul that longs to come home. Do you know, child, that every time your tears fall, the sky itself grows still with compassion? Each time you sigh in loneliness, I am there yet. You turn your face away, absorbed in chasing what can never be held. I do not blame you because I understand. Your heart has been wounded by the world too many times. You have learned to protect yourself with a shell of reason, with busyness, with manufactured pleasures. But the more you hide, the more your soul longs to be loved, to be embraced, to be comforted. Do not be afraid. Let your heart be tender. Tenderness is not defeat. It is the doorway through which I enter. When you allow yourself to fall, only then can I lift you up with a strength that does not come from you but from everlasting love. Have you ever wondered why, even when you have everything, something still feels missing? It is because deep within your soul does not belong to this world. You were not made merely to work, to make a living, to love and lose, to rejoice and grieve, to rise and fall. You were born to reflect my glory, to carry my light into places of shadow, to become a living witness that love endures and that grace still breathes within a world that is forgetting it. You are not a nameless human among billions. You are a melody I myself have written with my own hands. When you sing that true melody, the whole universe listens. But to hear that song, you must grow still. The world will not stop calling your name with praise, with success, with sweet temptations. Yet amid the clamor, my voice remains as light as a breath, heard only when the heart becomes quiet. Step out of the whirl of anxious cares, so your soul can breathe the sacred air with which I surround you. This is not merely a beautiful moment, it is the beginning of a new journey, where you cease searching outside and begin to look within, where I have always been, never absent for even a single heartbeat. You have wandered long enough. It is time to come home. Let the old things ebb away like waves retreating to the deep. Do not regret, do not cling, do not try to hold what is now only a shadow. Every wound, every fall, every disappointment carries meaning. They are not permitted to crush you. They teach you to discern what is real from what is only a mirage. When you look back, you will see that in your darkest nights, I lit a small candle so you would not lose your course entirely. In solitude, you learn to listen to the voice within the call of me. And precisely when you thought you were abandoned, I was holding you in the quiet, so you would know that true love does not need display, only presence. My child, open your heart. Do not fear my light. It does not come to judge, but to heal. It does not come to expose for shame, but to cleanse. I know you are weary. I know you are straining to hold on, but now you do not need to strive. Simply rest yourself in my arms and let me become your breath, your heartbeat, the rhythm of life within you. Then every fear will dissolve, every pain will grow quiet, and only a deep peace will remain. A peace the world cannot give and cannot take away. When you let me enter, the whole world within you changes. Your eyes see differently, not others as those who wound you, but as souls also seeking light. Your ears hear differently, not noise, but in every sound, an invitation to return to love. Your whole being is renewed like a parched garden, receiving the first rain of the season. You will live no longer by the urgent pulse of fear, but by the gentle cadence of grace. In this very moment, you stand on a threshold between old and new, between darkness and light, between anxiety and peace. Do not turn away again. Do not let your mind drag you back to what is meaningless. This is the moment to choose life instead of mere existence, truth instead of illusion, love instead of fear. Each choice you make today will sketch the path of tomorrow. I am ready to walk with you if only you open the door. Remember, not a single moment of your life is without meaning. Even on days that seem wasted, I am weaving the tapestry of your life with every thread of grace. Let me complete it. Let me continue the story you have struggled too long to write alone. You are not alone. You never were. And this very moment, the moment you read these words and feel your heart tremble, is the proof that I am here. Believe it. Let my love melt the doubts, the wounds, the fears that have held you captive for far too long. For this moment, my child, is the beginning of a new journey, no longer a flight from yourself, but a homecoming. No longer a frantic search, but a recognition. No longer an urge to prove, but a life lived in the acceptance that you are already loved, already chosen, already destined for a great purpose. And when you let your heart beat in rhythm with eternity, the former things will pass away, and you will know what true freedom is. Freedom in love, in light, in my abiding presence. I still stand there patient, as an unwearied breeze, unboastful, touching softly the door of your heart. That door may be rusted by time, by years closed tight from fear, pride, and a shame no one could reach. You imagine I would leave when you do not open, but no. I remain quiet and full of love. For true love does not grow tired nor depart when refused. You hear a gentle knock, then silence, then the knock again like the heartbeat of mercy. You know it is me, yet you hesitate because within you lies a tangle of things you have not dared to face. You fear revisiting your wounds. You fear light shining into your darkest corners. But I tell you, do not be afraid. Light does not come to condemn the darkness, but to drive it away. Only open a small crevice, even with the frail remnant of faith you have, and I will enter. I do not come as a stranger, but as a father who has long awaited the return of a wandering child. I do not come to indict, but to gather up what is broken and mend the cracks you yourself no longer have strength to touch. You once thought of me as a stern judge, weighing every fault, but child, my justice is love, and that love exceeds all the limits of human reason. When you tremble under the weight of guilt, I see in it a longing to be forgiven. When you bow your head in shame, I see a soul returning to its source of light. Do not forget, those tears are the beginning of healing. You do not need to be perfect to be loved by me. My love does not arrive after you improve. It is the very power that transforms you. I once stooped to wash the feet of those who would betray me. I forgave the ones who nailed me to the cross. What in you, then, could I not embrace? You think your sin is too great, but I ask you, is any wound greater than the love that would die for you? My blood was shed not to adorn the righteous, but to open a path for the sinner to come home. I did not choose a golden temple. I chose a contrite heart as my dwelling. You need not come to me in splendor. Come with empty hands and an honest heart, and I will not turn you away. You once lost your faith and thought I had gone. Yet precisely when you felt most alone, I was nearest. In the dark you could not see me, but I was still holding your hand. I am never in haste, for I know every heart needs time to thaw. I wait not because I am weak, but because I love you enough to honor your freedom. If I forced the door, it would cease to be love and become power. But true love never coerces, it only invites and waits. Look back and see, each time you fell, I lifted you. Each time you wept, I wiped your tears. You thought it was your own strength that stood you up, but it was I who gave you the courage. What you have lost, I can restore. The years the locust has devoured, I can repay many times over. Do not think your past is your fate, for I am the one who turns ashes into beauty and sorrow into blessing. Every scar you carry is not to rehearse your failures, but to tell the story of how grace has healed you. Let me touch what you have kept hidden, the memories, the wounds, the words you have not dared to speak. I will not rub salt into them. I will pour fragrant oil to heal. I will whisper to your heart, you are still loved before you knew me, and even after you forgot me. I know you fear being judged. You have lived so long under accusatory voices that you have begun to think I am like them. But child, I do not sit upon a throne to count your sins. I sit beside you, look into your eyes and say, I understand. My love needs no defense. If you are sincere, I will finish the words you cannot say. I do not require you to pay the price, for I have already paid it. The cross is not merely a symbol of suffering. It is the proof of love without conditions. Every beat of your heart testifies that your life has been purchased at a precious cost. When you open the door, the light will rush in and may leave you dazzled, for you have dwelt long in darkness. But let me guide you. I will not reproach you for delay, for hesitation, for weakness. I rejoice simply that you have chosen to open. That opening, however small, is enough to set all heaven singing. You do not know it, but when you whisper, Lord, help me, the whole firmament moves, for that small prayer contains a great faith. Believe that a small beginning can bring forth a great miracle. You will see that when I am within you, not every trial disappears, but you will have the strength to pass through them. I do not promise a life without storms, but I promise that in the storm I am your shelter. When you are weary, I am your rest. When you lose your way, I am your lamp. I am not distant, not reserved for the already holy. I am in every breath, every tear, every most hidden cry of your heart. Let me write your story anew, not with the pen of prejudice or the ink of your past, but with the ink of mercy. I will turn what you regret into wisdom, turn your wounds into testimony, turn the darkness into a place where light is honored. I do not need you perfect. I need you true. Come to me as you are now, full of contradictions, full of fear, yet full of the longing to be loved. And I tell you that longing is the proof that you are still mine. I know there are moments you feel unworthy, that you do not deserve a love so great, but my love has never rested on worthiness. It is grace, a gift, not measured by effort, not weighed by achievement. I love not because you are good, but so that you may become good. This love does not wait until you meet the standard. It touches you while you are still astray. Remember, even when you renounce me, I still call your name. When you shut the door, I still knock. When you are silent, I still whisper, Child, I am here. If today you open your heart, you will see a marvel, that pain no longer terrifies you. For when I am present, suffering becomes the birthplace of hope. You will realize that peace does not come from a life without trials, but from knowing I am with you. And when you let me dwell within you, will find the world itself transfigured. The grass seems greener, the heavens higher, human hearts warmer, because the light within you shines outward upon everything. And I say to you once more, soft as breath, deep as the ocean open, do not let fear keep you forever on the threshold. For beyond that door lie life, peace, and the love you have long sought. I do not ask you to erase your past, only let me walk through it with you. I will not go ahead to leave you behind, nor lag behind to judge you. I will walk beside you hand in hand, until you know beyond doubt that you are truly loved. I have knocked, and I am still knocking. That knocking is the heartbeat of eternal love. Do you hear it? Do not let silence answer in your place. Step out just one step, and I will run to meet you. For I am love, love that never tires, never limits, never gives up. Open the door and let me turn that desolate house into a sanctuary of joy where light dwells and your soul is reborn. For when you open your heart, you will understand that all you feared was only the night receding before the dawn of love. Yes, this world is steeped in darkness, in the groans of wandering souls, in the long nights of sin and despair. Yet remember, where sin rises like a flood, Their grace runs deeper still, like a spring bursting forth in a barren desert, like the dawn tearing open the shroud of night. Do not fear the darkness that gathers around you, for light never goes out so long as a single small wick burns with faith. I am that light, the light that cannot be quenched, the light that once shone over the face of chaos to call forth creation, the light that stepped into the black night of Golgotha to guide lost souls home. Do not think your strength is too frail, your heart too small to matter on this harsh sea of life. It is precisely in weakness that my power is revealed. It is through the cracks that my light blazes forth more radiant than ever. I do not need you perfect. I need you surrendered to love. Place in my hands the ashes of former days, the many failures, the shattered dreams, and I will make of them a green garden flowering with grace. Give me the slow-burning sorrow of each morning, and I will cloak you with gladness, so that every step you take becomes a hymn of hope, and every tear you shed becomes a seed cast into the fields of resurrection. Can you feel it? Time is no longer long. The days seem to hasten, as though the universe itself were counting down to a solemn hour. The earth groans, the seas roar, humanity reels. Ancient prophecies begin to unfold, and the smallest sign becomes a bell of warning. There is no time left to slumber on in borrowed comforts, no room for indifference or pride. This is the decisive hour, the moment when light and darkness contend within every human soul. The King is returning not in silence, but in blazing glory amid the trumpet of angels trembling through the heavens, and every eye shall see him. Are you ready? Will your heart quiver with joy or with fear? Will you stand among those who sing for gladness or seek a hiding place in the shadows, clutching sins you refuse to release? Do not delay. Do not say, "Tomorrow I will follow you," for tomorrow is not yours. Today is the day of salvation. Today is the moment when heaven leans down, waiting for a single yes from your heart. Each breath you draw is not a given. It is a gift, an opportunity, one more chance to turn back. Do not gamble your soul for the ease of the present. Do not think that when you are older, wiser, then you will come to me. No, you will not find your way home unless I take your hand, and now in this very moment, I am holding you fast. I am drawing you up from the depths, away from the sweet illusions the world arrays like honey glazing poison. Do you hear it? The soft sound of my voice within the tumult, the whisper of the Spirit. Return, beloved child. Life is brief, like the morning mist that vanishes when the sun peeks over the horizon, like a shadow that slips across the evening ground. Many imagine they have time in abundance, and then in the blink of an eye all dissolves like dust on the wind. Do not number yourself among them. Keep watch. Cherish every moment, for each instant carries the chance to become different, to be remade, to live true to what your soul longs for. I do not promise you a road without roughness, but I promise I will walk it with you step by step, in tears as in laughter. When you are weary, I will uphold you. When you fall, I will bend down. When you lose your way, I will be the lighthouse blazing over the midnight sea. The world will go on heaving with tempests, with wreckage, and strife, with the cries of desolation and loneliness. Yet in the heart of the storm you are called to be a torch, not because you are stronger than others, but because my light burns within you. Let my love flow through you, like a river coursing through the desert. Let my mercy become the voice upon your lips, so that when you speak, others hear grace. Do not fear being small, for it is the lowly souls who bow that become great instruments in my hand. A single spark can drive back a darkened room. How much more a soul kindled by the Spirit? Live as proof of hope. Become a sower, and though the world is dry, sow on, for the harvest will come. Lift your eyes to the sky, and you will see all things in motion. Nothing stands still. The earth grows old. Human hearts run dry, yet my grace is new every morning. Do not let your heart turn to stone in the cold stream of life. Let it melt within love. Let your tears fall for mercy, not for bitterness. Let your sighs become prayer, not complaint. When you learn to bow, you will understand that in surrender, you find true freedom. I do not need you to prove anything. I want you to know you are loved, not because you are worthy, but because I am love. Love requires no reason, demands no condition, and does not change, though you change. When you turn away, I still wait. When you collapse, I still reach out. When you lose faith in yourself, I still believe in you. For in you I see what the world cannot, a soul made in my image, a light never extinguished, though buried beneath ash. Remember, the King is coming. The world will witness his glory, and no one will be able to pretend they did not hear the trumpet's call. Then every fame, every fortune, every power will crumble into dust. Only love will remain, only faith, only the souls who chose light over darkness. Do not let your heart be empty on that day. Prepare not with fear, but with love. Live as though today were your last day, and also as though it were your first day living under grace. And when you lift your head, though the sky be black, you will know the light has never gone. I am still here, still waiting, still loving, still calling your name upon the wind. Step out of the darkness. Run to me, to the place where tears are no more, where time cannot lay, a hand where love alone shines forever. Stop now, child. Do not let your heart be bound by accusations that are not from me. The voice that whispers you are unworthy, that your sins are too great to be forgiven, that is not my voice. It is the voice of the deceiver who seeks to steal your hope, who sows the darkness of fear in your heart. As for me, I am light, I am life, I am the one who came that you might live, not merely exist, but live in the abundance of love, in true freedom and peace. Beloved, why turn your back when I am drawing near? Why run when my arms are open wide? Those hands do not come to judge, but to raise you up, not to accuse, but to wipe the tears from your face. You once thought I saw only your sin, but no, I see more. I see a child trembling and in pain, stifling cries in the dark. I see every tear you hide at night, every heartbeat aching with remorse and loneliness. I see it all, and I do not turn away. On the contrary, in those very wounds I behold your beauty, a beauty dimmed by the dust of the road, yet never extinguished. You need not hide your fear from me, for I know the deepest layers of your soul better than you know yourself. I know the long nights you have crossed, the times you wanted to give up, the efforts that seemed to come to nothing. But child, each time you fell, I was there not to scold, but to take your hand and say, "Rise, you can begin again." I do not withdraw when you are lost. I come closer. I step into the ruins you dread, others seeing into the memory rooms you wish to forget, and I sit there amid the ashes waiting for you to look up. I do not demand perfection before I love for. My love does not depend on what you achieve. It simply is and always will be. I love you for yourself, not for success or failure, not for merit or fault. You are mine from the beginning and unto ages without end. Let me enter your heart. Do not be afraid. Open the door long shut. I do not bring a verdict. I bring healing. I do not bring chains. I bring freedom. Freedom is not the erasing of the past, but the learning to see it with new eyes, the eyes of love. You need not judge yourself anymore, for I have borne all that weighs you down. I have endured the darkness that you might see the light. I have suffered that you might be healed. Let me show you who you truly are. You are not the sum of your past mistakes, not the image others impose, not the venomous words the enemy plants in your heart. You are the chosen, the beloved, the one who belongs. In my eyes you are neither small nor useless. You are my joy, my breath, the reason I did not hesitate to suffer in order to save you. My voice does not thunder in the storm. It is the gentle whisper within stillness. It does not argue or coerce, yet it is strong enough to pass through every wall of fear you have raised. Amid the clamor of 1,000 sounds I find you. In the desert of loneliness I call your name. Do you hear it? That call does not threaten. It invites you home. For with me you are no longer condemned. With me there is only love, and that love never fails. Right now, in this very moment, I stand inside the prison of your despair, the place where you believe no exit remains. I hold the key and the door is opening before you. Step out, beloved. Do not clutch the chains of your own making. Do not keep the self-accusing words that have held you for years. They have been broken. I have paid for your freedom with my own blood and final breath. You need live in fear no longer. Come into the light where you are covered by mercy, where you are reborn in peace. Believe that no wound is too deep, no sin too great for my love to reach. Every fracture in you I can fill with my very light, turning sorrow into beauty, ashes into new hope. You will see that the place you thought was the end is the threshold of what is eternal. I know you're afraid of being hurt again, afraid you're not enough, afraid you won't be accepted. But my child, I have never chosen you because you were perfect. I chose you because you are you. Nothing you have ever done can change the love I have for you. However far you roam, that love will pursue you, untiring, unyielding. I step down into the depths to find you, walk through the darkness to touch your heart, and bore death so that you might live. And now I ask only that you stop running. Come back, not to be judged, but to be gathered into the arms of grace. You were not born to wear the chains of the past. You were fashioned to live in the light of freedom. Every breath you take is a testimony to my unchanging love. You do not need to strain to prove anything. You need only open your heart and receive. Believe that in the very place where you are weakest, I will work wonders. Let your tears fall, for within each drop there is cleansing and a sowing of joy. I know you have felt unlovable, yet in that very feeling I was there, laying my hand gently upon your heart and saying, "You have always been mine." Nothing can separate you from this love, not sin, not failure, not any darkness great enough to keep you from me. This love is eternal, like a river that never ceases to flow, like a fire that will not die in the night. It seeks you out, surrounds you, and transforms you from within. You need not chase any other light, for you were made to reflect this very light. Lift up your head, do not let shame drag you down. I have given you a new name, not sinner but redeemed, not lost but a child who has come home. With every step you take from now on, I will walk with you. Whenever you are weary, I will be your rest. Whenever you are confused, I will be the peace within you. You do not need to look for me far away, for I am here in your breath, in each heartbeat, in every small moment. Let me teach you how to love yourself again, how to forgive the past, how to trust the future. You will discover that true love never demands that you be worthy. It only asks that you dare to open your heart. Let my light reach the very depths of your soul until the darkness has no place left to hide. And when you stand in that light, you will understand forgiveness is not forgetting but being set free. Love is not weakness but the greatest strength. And faith is not the absence of fear, but the courage to walk on, though fear remains. I have called you by name, and that name resounds through this world like a hymn of mercy. Step forward now, do not delay. I am waiting for you, with arms wide open, with eyes full of tenderness, with a heart that never changes. You belong to me forever. Even if you are crossing the barren lands of the soul where every hope seems to fade, I am there, quiet, gentle, yet stronger than the fiercest storm. You do not see, you do not hear, yet my breath sustains you through your weakest hours. I am not distant nor silent out of indifference. I am preparing something greater than you can imagine. In the stillness, I am forging your spirit so you learn to trust in the dark, so you grasp that faith is not a feeling but a choice of the soul to believe in me, even when there is nothing left to hold. Know this, your tears are never meaningless. They are not forgotten. I gather them into my bottle, and each drop will bloom into a flower of grace in its appointed time. Do not think your suffering means I have left you. On the contrary, in those very moments I am nearest to you, for I know that only through the fire is gold refined. You are a precious work in my hand, and no flame may consume you apart from my will. Every wound you carry I see, and I will make those very wounds the windows through which my light shines. You have stumbled, despaired, and felt unworthy of love. But understand this, my love for you is not based on worthiness. It is rooted in my very nature, unchanging, unconditional, without end. When you are weak, I do not turn away. I draw nearer to hold you in arms of kindness. When you fall, I do not reject you. I wait like a father watching for his child to come home. I do not seek the perfect, I seek hearts willing to admit they need me. My child, let your heart soften before me. Do not let fear or shame drive you away. Let my light seep into the corners you have kept hidden. I am not afraid of your darkness. I fear only that you would close your heart and bar me from entering. Whatever you have done, however far you have strayed, I can make all things new. No past is greater than my love. No sin is stronger than the cross. You have heard much about forgiveness. Now I want you to feel it not as an idea, but as cool water washing your soul clean. Let go of the past. Do not cling to what I have already forgiven. I have canceled your debt. So why imprison yourself under your own verdict? Lift up your head, for my grace is greater than every failure. You are not defined by your mistakes, but by the love I have poured out for you. Let the world's accusations dissolve in my gentle call. You are mine, and I delight in you. You do not need to prove your value. Remain in me, and your worth will quietly shine for you. Reflect the glory of the one who made you. When you look back over your journey, you may see only loss, but I see steps that were guided. Every event, however painful, is a stone in the house I am building in your life. You think you have been delayed, but I have been preparing you. You think I am slow, but I am arranging all things in their perfect time and place. Nothing you endure is wasted, for I never squander pain. I will use your very wounds to bring healing to others, like a stream once dried up that flows again to water the parched ground around it. You will understand why I allowed you to pass through the night when the dawn breaks. Then you will see that in the silent solitude, I taught you what it means to trust, to love, and to live with a whole heart. My beloved child, do not fear the next steps. The future is not as dim as you think, for I am already there before you arrive. I have prepared the way, and my hand still holds yours. At times you feel abandoned, but in truth, I am teaching you to walk by faith, not by feeling. Every promise I have spoken remains true. Not one word of mine falls empty, for I am the faithful one. You may not see it yet, but the seed of faith you sow today will sprout in the coming season. Trust that I never forget. Every prayer you whisper in the night I hear clearly. Every sigh I understand. Each time you want to give up, I rest my hand upon your shoulder and say, "Keep going, I am still here." You do not have to be strong on your own. Let my strength be made perfect in your weakness. When you yield yourself into my hands, you will find the peace the world cannot give. I do not want you merely to live. I want you to live fully, with meaning, with love, with the fullness of the Holy Spirit. Let faith transform the way you see the world. Do not view trials as enemies, but as teachers. Every hardship is an opportunity for your faith to grow, a chance to learn that I am greater than every circumstance. Fix your eyes on me, not on the waves. When Peter looked at me, he walked on water. When he looked at the storm, he began to sink. So too with you. If you keep your gaze on me, you will pass through every tempest. Remember, strength is not in never facing storms, but in knowing who is with you in the storm. You are not alone, for I, the maker of heaven and earth, am walking with you. Pause and sense my presence. My breath surrounds you, my grace covers you, and my love is singing a gentle lullaby in your soul, a song only the quiet-hearted can hear. I do not want you merely to know about me. I want you to truly know me, not through books or second-hand tales, but through the living experience of your own journey. I desire a relationship with you deeper than any tie on earth. Understand that I am not a distant deity upon a high throne, but a father who walks beside you, a friend who hears your secret voice, a shepherd ready to carry you when you have no strength left. My love is not an idea, it is a presence. You will find me in a stranger's smile, in the soft noon breeze, in the warm light spilling through a window, in the moment you forgive another, and in the grace of learning to forgive yourself. Remember, my child, I do not see you as the world does. The world sees failure, I see potential. The world sees ruins, I see a foundation for new building. The world sees wounds, I see occasions for grace to be revealed. Do not fear your smallness, for in that very smallness I will do great things. A mustard seed is the least of seeds, yet when sown it becomes a great tree. So it is with your faith, though small, if you keep it and water it with perseverance, it will grow and become a refuge for many. You do not need to do grand things to be loved. You only need to walk honestly with me each day. Every humble act done in love bears eternal weight. At last, my child, rest in me. Do not let the clamor of life make you forget that I am your peace. The world changes, people change, but I do not change. My love does not run dry. My mercy never ends. Each morning I renew my grace toward you. Come to me, though exhausted, though heavy of heart, and I will give you rest. Lay your burdens on me, for my yoke is easy and my burden light. You have journeyed far enough to know there is no safer place than my embrace. So let me continue writing your story, a story that does not end in tears, but in light, not in despair, but in hope. For I, the Lord your God of love and justice, who began a good work in you, will surely bring it to completion. And on that day, as you look back, you will see that everything I have done, whether in calm or in storm, has flowed from a love that never changes. You thought you could step away for a while, just a little distance, to taste freedom, to breathe the winds of the world, and when the emptiness returned, you would come back to me. But my child, not every road leads back the way it came. Each step away from me is a step into a mist, where light grows thin and gentle calls are drowned by deceiving echoes. You imagined a brief departure, yet for the soul, every moment without me is a breath of withering. The spiritual life has no neutral ground and no room for compromise. When you leave the source of light, you do not stand still. You slip slowly but surely toward the cold ravine of forgetfulness. The enemy does not need your worship. It needs only your distraction. A postponed prayer, a closed scripture, with the promise of tomorrow, and the seed of distance has already been sown into your heart. Do you know this, my child? The soul is like a flame. If it is not fed by the oil of love and the wind of the Holy Spirit, it will slowly go out. At first the light merely weakens, then dwindles to embers, and at last becomes cold ash. You will not notice. The moment you lose life within your soul, for spiritual death does not arrive with a thunderous crash, but with a slow and dripping silence, like the deep night swallowing what light remains. When you can no longer hear, my voice within it is not because I am silent, but because you have let the noise of the world smother everything. My voice is still there, light as a breeze, soft as the dawn, yet your soul has been packed with worries, ambitions, and temptations until there is no room left for me to speak. You fall silent toward me, and then you imagine that I am silent toward you. But no, I still call, I still wait, only you have ceased to listen. Do not think you can take my hand while grasping the world. Those two paths do not meet, and light and darkness cannot share one heart. When you choose to keep a little of the world in your breast, you set a distance between yourself and me. I do not take away your freedom, but freedom does not mean the absence of consequence. True freedom exists only when your soul abides in my light, while the freedom you choose out there is merely chains gilded with paint. The world will offer you the illusion of joy and triumph, yet deep within it is stealing the warmth and peace from you. When you run after what passes away, you lose the eternal things that only I can give. Many have collapsed along this road, not because they fought against me, but because they compromised one forgotten prayer one morning without reading my word. One small choice bent toward convenience rather than truth. Such seemingly harmless things are the fine threads that weave a veil between your soul and me. And when the veil grows thick enough, the light can no longer break through. You will begin to live as though I were not there, and the most terrible thing is that you will grow accustomed to it. You will call darkness peace, call silence stillness, call distance freedom. Yet your soul, however hard it tries to deceive itself, still knows it is thirsty for light, for life, for the tender call that only I can utter. Understand, my child, that every moment away from me is a loss beyond repair. There is no guarantee you can return as you were, for time never gives back what it has taken. Wounds in the soul, though healed, still leave scars. I desire that you not wait until your heart turns to stone before you cherish the sacred flame. I formed you not to wander in darkness, but to live within the radiance of everlasting love. Do not trust that you can go far and come back unscathed. Each outward journey yields some portion of you to the world, and when you return, I will still receive you, but your soul will labor long to win back its scattered pieces. Look around and you will see souls that once burned bright now reduced to ash. They did not betray me in a single violent hour, but through 1,000 small choices, little by little each day. They once told themselves, only today, only this time, but just once became once more, and soon the light within them faded. I grieve as I watch them, not in anger but in mercy, for I know they did not see the doorway back to light growing narrower with every step away. The road home never closes, yet the farther the heart strays, the wearier the feet, the dimmer the eyes, so though the light remains, they no longer have strength to find it. Remember, there is no harmless compromise where the soul is concerned. You cannot keep a bit of shadow and hope your heart will still shine. You cannot gaze upon the world with greed and keep your eyes pure. One grain of sand will cloud the crystal, one hairline crack in the wall will admit the enemy. Therefore I call you not to steal your joy, but to shield you from a sorrow far deeper than any fleeting pleasure. My beloved child, when I say, you cannot serve two masters, I do not command as a tyrant, but warn in love. The world will woo you with sweet songs, with counterfeit splendor, with the easy comfort of forgetfulness, yet all of it is a curtain draped over emptiness. I, who fashioned your soul, know that nothing but true love can fill the hollow within. You were born of light, and only light lets you truly live, while everything else, however it glitters, only wears you down. There will be times you say, I still believe, I'm just not ready, but faith is not a keepsake tucked away. It is a lamp that must be tended daily. If you do not pour in oil, its light will die. Delay in the spirit is the subtlest weapon of the enemy. He does not coerce with violence, but lulls you to sleep. He does not say, leave God. He only whispers, there's no hurry, and that very no hurry has cost countless souls their way home. Be watchful, dear one, for darkness rarely arrives as a storm. It comes as a fine, hazy mist that makes you think you still see clearly. The farther you move from the light, the more your eyes adjust to night, until you no longer know the difference between what is true light and what is deceit. Then, though I remain near you, no longer perceive me. I do not leave you. You leave me by a long chain of ordinary choices. Therefore, return at once, while your heart still thirsts and your ear can still catch the faintest call. Do not wait until silence feels normal, for then spiritual death has begun. Open your heart to me, even with a single whisper, for the moment you turn toward me, the light hastens to find you. There is no abyss. My grace cannot reach yet. I beg you, do not test that love with stubbornness. I long for you to live in the light, not merely be rescued from the dark. My child, I know your weakness, I know your weariness. I know you did not mean to drift away, and if you will be honest with yourself, I will bring you home. Do not think I am far. I am at your side in every heartbeat and every breath. Only stop open. Your eyes call my name, and you will see I have never left. You think you are lost, but you need only turn and the way appears. Yet you must choose to return, for I will not force you. True love never coerces, yet it forever waits, and I have waited for you since the dawn of creation for your return into the embrace of life. So do not trifle with eternity, for every choice in the present is weaving forever. Each moment lived in the light is a step into everlasting life, and each moment away from me is a fragment of the soul slipping into oblivion. I call you not with thunder, but with a gentle breath, for I know only love can move a heart. Come home, child of light, for I still wait with open arms and a joy that has never dimmed. I do not speak these words to plant fear in you or bow your head in trembling, but to awaken deep within your soul a recognition, a summons back to the true source of light. You cannot imagine the depth of the chasm when you turn your face from me, for temptation always wears the glittering cloak of freedom and delight. It is soft as a breeze, alluring as the sunset glow, yet beneath it lies a night without exit. Some believe themselves shrewd enough to stand between two shores, to touch the darkness without yielding to it, to taste the bait without losing the soul. But that is a fragile illusion, the heart's own treachery. No one can lift their eyes to light while keeping them fixed on the dark. No one can remain pure while bargaining with what is wrong. I do not invite you to the cliff's edge where one stray breath leads into the void. I summon you to the solid way where each step rests within my will and leaves no room for doubt or compromise. That way may be narrow, uneven, and at times lonely, yet it leads to true peace, not the peace that comes when everything works out, but the peace that comes from knowing you stand where I desire you to be. Holiness is not a garment reserved for the flawless, but a pilgrimage for those who dare to let go. You are not called to what is easy, for what is easy often strips life of meaning. You are called to the courage of living otherwise, to refuse the common profanities the world exalts. Holiness is no throne but a furnace, where your self is melted, your limits are tried, and your heart is refined until it reflects my image. You will feel alone, for the world does not understand those who choose the countercurrent, yet in that very solitude I am nearest. In that quiet, you will hear my call not as sound, but as a deep and gentle peace. Many come to me with bargains. If you grant me this, I will do that, but I do not summon you to a merchant's table. I summon you to the banquet of trust, where all you offer is given, not to win a return, but out of love. Obedience is not a forced bow, but a willing surrender born of confidence. When you obey, you do not lose freedom, you recover it. For freedom is not doing whatever you wish, but being able to say no to what you should not. You were not born for a life of drift carried by the world's current, but to be a light that reflects my glory, and that light ignites only when you leave familiar shadows and cease excusing your weakness. I know there are days when you are tired, when my call seems great and you feel so small. You wonder whether you have strength to live what I desire. But listen, child, I do not demand perfection, only a true heart. I do not seek the strong, but those who lean on my strength. When you are weak, then I can act. When you cease trusting your own power, you begin truly to trust in me. Do not fear slow steps, only fear stopping. Do not fear falling, only fear refusing to rise for each time you fall. I am there not to condemn, but to lift you up, brush off the dust, and remind you the journey is not over. The world will always whisper empty promises in your ear that happiness lies in owning much, climbing high, winning applause. But look around how many at those heights truly know peace, how many lie down at night with an untroubled heart. True happiness is not the sound of clapping hands, but the stillness of needing no proof. When you live in my will, you need not scramble, nor hide, nor perform. You are free to be yourself, a being loved without condition. Do not trade your soul for what fades. Do not let your heart grow callous to holy things, because the world calls them out of date. Holiness may draw mockery, yet it is a treasure beyond price. Obedience may invite misunderstanding, yet it is the key that opens blessing. Remember, what is easy has never been what is right, and what is right has never been easy. When you choose to walk within my will, you do not walk alone. I go before you to clear the way beside you, to keep you from falling behind you, to guard each step. There will be days when all seems silent. You pray and hear no answer. You seek and cannot find, but do not mistake silence for absence. I am there teaching you to believe without seeing, to love without grasping, to obey without full understanding. True faith lives not in the ease of sunny hours, but in the forward step taken when the path is unseen. When you are faithful in little, I will set you over much, and when you bow and surrender, I will raise you in glory. Let your heart grow soft, that I may inscribe my will upon it. Do not let pride close you off to what I am doing, for pride is the high wall that blocks blessing, while humility is the door that opens grace. The world praises self-reliance, but in my kingdom the blessed are those who know how to depend. When you lay down your burdens and let me carry them, your feet grow lighter, your eyes clearer, and your heart more at peace. My child, walk not out of fear, but out of love. Do not let holiness become a burden. See it as a gift that draws you closer to me and makes you more like me with each passing day. You were not made to dissolve into the crowd, but to shine among them. Your difference is not a weakness. It is the proof that you belong to me. Keep going, though the road be long and the world turn its back. For at the end of that road I am waiting, not with hands of judgment, but with arms of welcome. When you live within my will, you will find that peace lies not in avoiding the storm, but in having me with you in the storm. And when you understand this, you will cease to chase convenience, to compromise with what is wrong, to seek the approval of others. For a single glance from me, a single word of acceptance from me, is enough to quiet your soul. You need prove nothing. Simply remain in my love, and let that very love transform you, lift you up, and make you a witness to the light in a world heavy with shadows. This is what I wish to tell you, not to make you tremble before holiness, but to make you long for it, not to leave you feeling powerless, but to help you see that in your weakness, my grace is made perfect. Keep your eyes fixed on me. Do not look into the abyss. Do not let the world's noise drown out the call within your heart. For when you walk in my will, you do not merely live. You live in fullness, in love, in freedom, returning to the pure identity I placed within you from the beginning. Why do you choose to test the limits of mercy as if it were a game to be enjoyed rather than a sacred journey toward conversion? Do you think my kindness is so boundless that you may cast yourself into every error and every darkness and, with a single plea, have all restored, as if nothing had ever been? You are mistaken, child. My mercy is vast indeed, but it is not a shield for obstinacy, nor a door for you to pass through on a whim. Each time you refuse love you, lay another stone upon the wall that separates you from me. And when at last you discover your heart no longer stirs at what is holy, then you will understand the callous soul is the price paid for the false freedom you once adored. You call it freedom, but in truth it is a subtle slavery, chains gilded under the name of choice. You think you are walking a path of your own making, yet each step is led by the shadows of pride, desire, and fear. You imagine you are freeing yourself from every bond, not seeing that in that very moment you are locking your soul inside the lonely chamber of meaninglessness. True freedom is not doing whatever you want. It is choosing what is right, even when it hurts. You are only truly free when you bow before truth, when you say no to what is wrong, even when it is most alluring. When you turn your back on me, you lose not only your way, but your very self. You grow adrift upon the vast sea of life, where every voice blurs into another, and truth is twisted into sweet-tasting lies. You open your heart to seductive sounds that seem like love, but are only hollow whispers drawing you away from the light. Each time you choose to listen to them, you separate yourself from my embrace, the embrace that held you from your first breath, that traced every breath and heartbeat of yours with an unending love. I see you in every moment you struggle within your own storm. I see your eyes grow dim with fatigue, your heart harden little by little for fear of being hurt. You once knew how to love, how to weep for another's pain, yet slowly your heart has cooled. You think this is how to keep yourself safe, when in truth you are dying by degrees in the cold of your loneliness. Love, when not nourished, turns to ash. And a soul without love is like a garden without sun, only barren earth and withering winds remain. I did not make you to live in fear or in pride. I created you to be free in love, to find meaning in loving and being loved. You are not a random creature in a boundless universe. I have woven you with threads of light. Every cell of your being bears my imprint. You were fashioned with purpose, called by name by me, to carry my love into the world. But when you refuse me, you forget your true nature. You forget that you are a child of light, invited to live in grace and not in fear. You think that leaving me will lead you to peace, but you soon discover that the world's silence is never true peace. It is only a vast emptiness where you hear the echo of yourself, where everything you once believed turns into questions. True peace does not come from having everything, but from entrusting everything. Only when you return to me will you find real rest, not in your body, but in your soul. I know you are tired. I know you have been wounded. I understand why you turned aside, why you rejected what was once sacred to you. But child, every path away from me leads to the same place, the barren desert, where your soul is exhausted with longing for what the world can never give. You may have wealth, fame, and power, but all are hollow without me. Only I can fill the deepest emptiness within you, the hollow no person and no possession can touch. Try to stop just for a single moment and listen to your heartbeat. Do you hear the gentle call rising from that hidden place? It is I. I am still there, never gone. I still wait, still hope, still believe in the day you will return. I do not demand perfection. I ask only that you take one brave step back toward the light. With a single sincere tear, a whisper from the depths of your heart, I will open my arms to you. For my mercy is not condemnation, it is an embrace that never closes. But child, that mercy is not for your exploitation. It is an invitation, a door that opens onto conversion. Each time you fall, I lift you up, not so you may fall again, but so you may learn to stand. Each act of forgiveness is not indulgence. It is a chance to find yourself once more. If you go on treating it as a game, you will lose even the capacity to feel remorse, and then you will no longer know what is light and what is darkness. Remember, I know your beginning and your end. I see all you do, all you think, and I still love you. Not because you are worthy, but because I am love. That love does not ask for perfection, but it does ask for honesty. Honesty with yourself, with your wounds, your weaknesses, and your deepest desires. You can hide nothing from me, for I have been within you from the start. Yet I will not force you. True love never imposes, it only invites, waits, and endures. And when you finally understand that freedom is not found in escaping me, but in living in me, then you will be truly set free. For in me you no longer need to pretend to be strong to hide your fears or your tears. In me you are yourself weak, yet loved, sinful, yet saved, lost, yet gathered to my heart. So do not call your loneliness freedom any longer. Do not cloak your lostness in the garments of pride. Name it truly. It is the forgotten thirst to be loved. Let me lead you home, not by force, but by love. A love that once died for you, and yet lives forever for you. If you gaze deep into the darkness that now enfolds you, you will see that the light is still there, even if only a slender ray. Hold fast to it like a traveler through the long night, gripping a faint lamp. For once there is a single ray of light, the darkness is no longer endless. And I, the one who called you out of the unseen, will walk beside you step by step until you discover that true freedom is life within unconditional love, within my love. I seek not your surrender because I need honor or lack anything. All the universe is already mine. All power, all beauty, all life flows from me. No, child, I long for your surrender because I know that only in offering yourself will your soul truly live. Only when you place yourself in my arms are you safe amid the world's tempests. I see the roads you have not yet walked. I know the chasms that await when you wander in self-satisfaction. I see the glittering lights you mistake for glory, and within them the darkness that devours the soul. And I weep not because you are weak, but because you choose not to take my hand, though it is still outstretched, patient through your every day, every hour, every breath. I have watched you stumble time and again over the very stones I warned you about, enter cul-de-sacs of sorrow while I whispered softly, "Do not go that way." But you thought you knew better, that your reason and will could withstand every trial. I do not grow angry at your stubbornness. I grieve because I know what lies beneath it: loneliness, fear, wounds unhealed. You think freedom is going your own way, yet freedom exists only when you walk in my light. Apart from me, every road, however radiant, leads to emptiness. I see what lies ahead, the traps hidden beneath the sweetness of acclaim, of knowledge, of praise. The world will tell you that without me you can still succeed, be loved, be happy. But I have witnessed many souls take that road and shatter. You do not see that the farther you go from me, the nearer you draw to ruin, not because I punish, but because outside of me there is no life. My love does not bind, yet it cannot be rejected without leaving a wound. I weep because I see what you do not yet see. I weep because you still believe you are fine while your soul grows cold, losing its sensitivity to the holy call. My child, how many times more will you refuse? How many times have I knocked at the door of your heart, and you stayed silent, pretending not to hear? How many warnings will you ignore before the darkness veils the light within you? I have spoken not only through words, but through events, through the people I send, through tears, failures, and shattered dreams, all gentle reminders that you have wandered too far. Yet you keep going, afraid to stop, afraid to look within where the emptiness cries to be filled. You hurry on, imagining you are moving forward, yet in truth, you are losing yourself in the desert of your own soul. Have you ever asked why you were so easily moved before, and why now, when you hear sacred words, they feel like wind passing your ear? It is a sign that your heart is cooling, that the flame once burning bright within you is fading. It is not that I have withdrawn, but that you have been closing the door little by little, until only a narrow slit remains through which light can scarcely enter. I do not coerce. True love never forces. I knock gently, patiently, day after day. But I will not break down that door, for I honor the soul I myself have given you. Child, do not let your heart turn to stone beneath that soft knocking. Do not let indifference kill the holy thirst in your breast. The world will always preach a kind of freedom that is in truth a chain. It convinces you that you are master of your life, while deep inside you are ruled by fear, ambition, and desires that can never be sated. You could gain the whole world, but if your soul is lost, what remains? I call you, not to strip you of anything, but to return everything. When you surrender, you do not lose yourself, you find yourself. I know you doubt, for the world has taught you to trust no one but yourself. Yet I am no stranger. I am the breath that sustains your life, the quiet heartbeat you scarcely notice. When you love, when you forgive, when you weep for what is good, then I am living in you. And still you fear me, afraid that if you yield to me, you will lose your freedom. You do not see that only when I am Lord do you become truly free. Remember, no calling resounds forever when the listener keeps ignoring it. It is not that I stop speaking, but that your heart grows too stiff to receive. As parched ground cannot drink, so a hardened heart cannot tremble at the word of love. Do not wait until everything around you collapses to recognize the worth of the presence you once belittled. Do not wait until the light withdraws and only then discover how accustomed you have become to the dark. I still wait for you, but know that time is not endless. Not because my love has limits, but because no one can live forever in postponement. A day will come when, if you remain silent, the door of your heart will finally close, and I, though still at hand, will stand and watch, sorrowing without words. Open while you can. Answer while the call still rings. I do not wish to frighten you, but I want you to see that indifference is the soul's most dangerous foe. It is not loud or violent. It quietly extinguishes every ray of light within you. Today you may still feel a slight stirring. Tomorrow it will be weaker. One day you will feel nothing at all. That is when the soul dies while you think you are alive. I do not will this for you. I placed a flame within you, and I ask only that you keep it burning, even as a small ember, that I may breathe it to life when you are weak. Therefore, my child, stop today. Listen. Give me a little space in your heart, enough for light to enter. Do not fear loss, for what you relinquish is nothing compared to what you will receive. I come not to demand but to bestow, not to shackle but to set free, not to condemn but to love. Yet I cannot save a soul that does not desire to be saved. Love does not compel, it can only wait, and I am still waiting, with tearful eyes, with open hands, with a heart that has never ceased to love. Come home, child. When you open your heart, even for a moment, I will rush in like a warm breeze, bearing life and peace and light. Then you will understand consecration is not loss but discovery, for only when you are mine do you truly become yourself. You say you love me, yet each step, each choice speaks otherwise. I do not blame you for weakness, but I grieve that you do not see. Love cannot live only on the lips. Love is not a promise made in a surge of feeling, nor a tear shed in a fleeting remorse. It is a daily choice, choosing me amid 1,000 temptations at every crossroads of life. You say I am first, yet when earthly concerns arrive, I watch myself pushed aside. From the throne of your heart, I am gradually replaced by acclaim, by fleeting pleasures, by the things you think will make you whole, until soon I become a name uttered only in despair. Know this, hearts seldom stray by deliberate betrayal. They wander because bit by bit you let the world take up the space that belongs to me. I see you excusing the distance. You say you are tired, that you need time, that once this season passes you will return. You soothe yourself with misty promises, but child, are you sure tomorrow belongs to you? You say later, but who can guarantee that later will come? Each passing moment is not your servant, but a grace I give which you cannot buy or keep. You live as though time were inexhaustible, yet I tell you, truly every breath you draw is my gift. I count your days and minutes, and I alone know which day is the last. You may plan and project, but you cannot command the dawn to rise early or the sunset to delay. You imagine love can be postponed, that faith can be paused like a clock stopped for a busy hour. But faith cannot survive neglect. When you cease to tend it, it withers unnoticed. You say, I understand you, and I do. I know your frailty, your mortal limits, but understanding is not consent. My love does not will you to remain half-hearted. I want you to live whole, full, and true to your faith. I do not ask perfection. I ask sincerity. You once said I was your all, yet you handed that all to things that live only for a moment. You knelt and vowed that nothing would sever you from this love, yet when the winds of life rose, you let go. I do not say this to shame you, but to show you the contradiction within. You love me, yet you fear losing the world. You worship me, yet bow before what has no soul. You say you trust me, yet you lean on your own designs. I look on you with tender sorrow, for I know you do not mean to betray. You only lack the courage to choose me when it asks you to relinquish other things. I hear your familiar plea. Just one season, only a short time, then I will return. But child, how many seasons have passed and you have not returned? How many times have you said only this once, only to repeat it? You forget that the enemy of your soul binds you with a silken cord of delay. It does not drag you by force. It lulls you with the promise there is still time. You do not see that every minute of hesitation is another step away from me. Time does not wait nor ask permission. It passes quietly, and when you awaken, youth has slipped away, your fervor has cooled, and the fire of love lies in ashes. I ask you, what makes you think you govern time? You can schedule an appointment for tomorrow, but how do you know tomorrow will exist for you? How many have said, when I am freer, calmer, stronger, I will return, and never had the chance not? Because I refused them, but because they forgot that breath is not self-sustained. I hold time, I count every heartbeat, and when I say enough, no one can add a second. Yet you live as though you were sovereign, forgetting your plans are grains of sand in a hand. You love me, I believe it, but I also know that love is being battered by 1,000 waves. I do not want you to live in guilt or fear. I want you awake. True love is not a passing feeling, but an action. It is measured by priorities, not words. When you choose everything else and have no time left for me that speaks louder than any defense, you may offer me songs of praise, but if you do not offer me your heart, the songs are hollow sound. Look again. What have you set upon the throne where I should reign? Is it work, the one you love, the unfinished dream, reputation, the fear of loss? None of these are evil, but when they take my place, they become chains. You think they will give you happiness, yet the tighter you grasp them, the emptier you feel. I do not wish to strip your joy. I long to place all things in their right order. When I am at the center, everything else finds its meaning. Understand, my love is not a jealous blindness, but the love of one who knows that without me, you will never find true peace. I do not ask you to choose me out of fear, but because you know that apart from me, nothing can fill your heart. You still have time, but no one knows how much. So do not wait until you are spent to seek me. Do not wait until your life is in pieces to value what you once treated lightly. Return now, not because I need you, but because you need me. Every moment you can still choose is an opportunity I am opening. I am not angry. I long for you to recognize the treasure you are wasting. Time is a wealth, and every moment not given to true love is a moment that has died. Do not deceive yourself that tomorrow will be easier, for there is no convenient day to love. True love does not wait for convenience. It steps out while all is yet unfinished. I call you not to accuse, but to awaken. I want you to understand that today is the day I give you to come back. Today is when grace still stretches wide, when the door of my heart is not yet closed. Do not let my knocking drown in the noise of the world. Do not let your heart grow so hard that even love cannot pierce it. You say you love me, then let that love become action. Choose me while you are still busy. Come to me while you are still weak. For when you choose me, amid 1,000 unsettled things that is love in truth, my child, I have counted every breath you take, every tear, every small joy. I ask nothing in return, only that you do not let your heart drift any farther. Time does not belong to you, but my love is forever yours. So before another day slips away, before today's light fades, stop for a moment, open your heart, and say, Lord, here I am. That is all, and I will do the rest. For I never forget you, even when you yourself have forgotten me. And yet through it all, within an unfathomable mercy, I still wait. I do not wait because you have done anything to deserve it, nor because you know how to repent, but simply because I love you, with a love that never grows weary, never sets conditions, never fades with time. That love asks for no payment for it, has already paid everything on your behalf. I watch you lose your way, struggle in the mire of sin. My heart twists in pain, yet I do not turn away, for I know that beneath the ash that covers you a faint spark remains waiting to be breathed into flame. My love is not the fickle feeling of humankind. It is an eternal fire, patient and steadfast, always ready to warm the soul gone cold in loneliness. But know this, child, with every day you choose to stray from me, the distance is measured not only in time but in the calluses forming upon your spirit. Each step away from the light dims your sight. Each attempt to hide your sin dulls your ear to my gentle call. Your soul is like a mirror. Every compromise lays another film of dust upon it, and though my light still shines, you no longer reflect my beauty. At first, the distancing is only a breath, a small whisper within a passing thought. It's fine just this once. You do not realize that the enemy needs no wide-open door. The smallest crack in your heart will do. One small compromise, 1 second of carelessness, one deliberate glance away from the light, each like a drop of water falling upon stone, until even stone is worn down. What begins as a whisper does not end there. It grows and strengthens, until it becomes a roar that drowns out every resonance of the Holy Spirit within you. Then you mistake silence for peace, though it is the death of your spiritual senses. Every time you choose silence before sin, every time you turn away, instead of looking to me, a softness is taken from your soul, a measure of its capacity to feel love, until only a brittle shell remains dry, unmoved by what is good. The road away from me is seldom a sudden cliff. It is a gentle slope strewn with rose petals of self-justification and well-dressed excuses. You tell yourself you are fine, that you still love me, only not yet ready, only too tired. Yet within such seemingly harmless reasons your soul is slowly gnawed away. Today you allow yourself a small deceit. Tomorrow, a larger one slips in more easily. Then one day you look back and cannot fathom how you went so far, why you no longer recognize yourself. I see you in the mirror, and instead of light reflecting my image, there remain only scars, the marks of each wrong turning, of each time you heeded a voice other than mine. Those scars do not make me despise you, but they do make me ache. For each one tells a story of trust, misplaced, of love, forgotten, of invitations I extended and you refused. You do not see that sin not only stains the soul, it steals your capacity to perceive the beauty of truth. As you chase what pleases the flesh, you gradually silence the voice of conscience, until finally you no longer know what true light is. You begin to call darkness peace, coldness safety, and silence freedom. But my child, that is a counterfeit freedom. Freedom is not doing whatever you please, but living true to the essence I placed within you. I have watched many souls wander in the labyrinth of themselves, searching only to stray further, tightening their grip, only to lose self-control. Each time you lean on your own strength, you take another step from my embrace. The world may applaud, but heaven weeps. Success without me is like a palace built on sand, splendid and dazzling, yet one wave will shatter it all. I did not fashion you to dwell in the illusion of sufficiency, but to live in the reality of love. Only in love do you truly live. The path away from me is the path of forgetting me. Forgetting yourself, forgetting the vows your soul once whispered through tears in the night. You will try to fill the emptiness with laughter, with work, with acclaim, yet you will discover that nothing soothes the thirst within, for you thirst for me. You were made to long for me, and all the world offers are shadows of the real. However far you run, your soul will bleed with homesickness. And I still wait, not with anger, but with eyes wet with tears, with a heart full of hope that you will return before the darkness swallows you whole. Remember, this darkness cannot conquer the light, but it can persuade you to close your eyes. When your eyes are shut, the light remains. You simply do not see it. Do not let sin's deception convince you that I have left. I have never left. Yet each time you turn your face away, choose silence instead of prayer. Choose self-reliance over surrender. I feel the distance stretch. I do not depart from you. You walk away. And as you walk, you leave the source of life behind and grow thirsty and hungry, trying to fill yourself with the world's muddy waters that can never satisfy the deep thirst of your soul. I know there are moments you think you have gone too far, that there is no road back. But my child, one sincere cry, one genuine tear, one decision to stop and turn around, and I will run to you. I do not ask you to crawl back in shame. I will run to you and gather you into the arms once spread on the cross. But you must first stop. You must admit that you are lost. For as long as you insist you are fine, you will never see your need for me. The world will not tell you this, but sin never travels alone. It comes with numbness, with a darkness that settles over the soul, with a pride that makes you believe you are in control. But, my child, no one saves themselves. If you could free yourself, the cross would never have been necessary. Remember this whenever you want to lean on your own strength. I suffered so you might have peace. I died so you might live. I kept silent so you might hear my voice. Do not let the world make you mute. Open your heart and let the light once more touch the deepest places of your soul. And when you stand at the crossroads with light on one side and darkness on the other, I long for you to choose me, not out of fear but out of love, because I chose you before you ever knew my name. Because I still wait, and will keep waiting, though my heart aches and my tears mingle with the sighs of a lost soul. My love does not tire, but do not let your heart fall asleep in sin, lest one day you awaken unable to hear my call. Should that day come, it is not that I am silent, but that your heart has grown too distant to catch my whisper. I am still here in the stillness, in the wind, in every heartbeat that stirs with longing. I wait for your return to mend every wound, to wipe every scar, to restore to you the whole image I placed within you from the beginning, the image of light, of life, of love that does not fade. I still call your name on the wind in the silence in those days when you think no one remembers you. That call has not weakened, no matter how far you have gone. I still speak by 1,000 means, through events that seem accidental, through the gaze of a stranger, through the sudden tear that falls when your soul brushes against the holy you tried to forget. I keep waiting, patient as a river that never ceases to flow, waiting for the small drop to return and be one with the sea. You think I am distant, but I am nearer than your heartbeat, for I am the one who keeps it beating. Not a single step of yours escapes my sight. Not a single sigh slips beyond my care. I am not far, have never been far, and never will be far. The distance you feel is not because I left you, but because you turned away. Yet if in this very moment, right where you stand, you turn your heart toward me, even if it is only a faint breath of longing, I will come, without hesitation, without judgment, without delay. I will hold you as a father holds the child who once was lost but now has come home. If you stop running, stop straining to appear strong, if you cease leaning on your own strength and let your tears fall upon my mercy, you will find that my grace is not merely sufficient, it overflows. You do not need to save yourself, that work I have finished. You do not need to rise alone. My arm is outstretched to lift you up. I never mock your weakness, for I know you were formed from dust. I understand your limits and do not demand what is beyond you. Instead, I give you my strength. When you collapse, I do not come to accuse, but to raise you up. When you are confused, I do not shame you, but shine a light upon your path. When you fail, I do not condemn, but redeem, turning what seemed loss into a chance for my glory to be revealed. For I never see you through the lens of your faults, but through the cross, where every sentence was erased by my blood. But my child, there is one thing you must understand. You cannot love me and ignore me at the same time. True love cannot be divided, cannot be sweet words when skies are clear and silence when the winds change. You cannot seek my blessing while refusing my call. You cannot ask me to lead while insisting on your own way. I am not an accessory to your life. I am the center, the source, the breath that keeps your soul alive. You cannot sever yourself from the source and hope to flourish. As a branch cannot bear fruit apart from the vine, you cannot know true peace apart from me. You have tried to find peace in work, in money, in relationships, in acclaim, and the more you chase, the more exhausted you become, for you are searching where peace is not. True peace does not come from calm circumstances outside, but from your spirit being set in its right place within me. Many voices have called you the world's clamor, promising instant happiness, yet none of them can soothe your soul. Only my voice, soft as the breeze, yet bearing the power to heal, can still the storm within your heart. You cannot go on living as though I were a guest passing through your days. I do not enter to lodge for a while, I come to reign. You cannot invite me in when trouble comes and close the door when all goes well. I am not a backup plan for your dead ends. I am your very life, the breath that nourishes your soul each day. Without me, everything else is only a shadow existing, yet lifeless. You were created for communion with me, to love and be loved, to reflect my image in all you do. When you are far from me, you live against the purpose for which you were born. That is why you feel empty even when you have everything. Nothing in this world can fill that hollow, for only I match the shape of your soul. I do not demand perfection. I long for sincerity. I do not seek rituals. I seek a heart that returns. Stop pretending you are well when you are not, that you are full when you are hollow. I am not fooled by a shell. I see into the depths where your silent cry still rises though your lips are still. You need not be worthy to draw near. You need only be truthful. If you come back even trembling, I will receive you with all my kindness. You will see that I am not distant, but the Father who runs to meet you on the road, embracing you before you can utter a single apology. I do not need your explanations. I only desire your heart. Remember, my child, I chose you before you could speak my name. I saw you before you were formed and loved you with a love without condition. Everything you have tried to set in, my place, success, people, fleeting pleasures, cannot compare to what I give. I do not want you living divided, trying to walk with me while clinging to what pulls you away. You cannot grasp the light while holding darkness in your hands. I call you out not to strip your freedom, but that you might truly be free. Free from sin, from fear, from the burden you have carried in your heart. Let go of everything that binds you. Do not try to steer your life by your own strength. When you clutch at everything, you only weary your soul. But when you release your grip and entrust yourself to me, you will discover that the very moment you lose control is the moment true peace finds you. I will never leave you ashamed for trusting me. Everything you surrender to me, I will return 100-fold, not in possessions, but in life itself, in joy, in a heart made whole and free. My beloved child, do not cut yourself off from me any longer. I have borne every pain so you could draw near without fear. I have carried your sentence so you might live in righteousness. My arms are open, but only you can step into them. I do not coerce love, for love is only true when it is freely given. Come back not out of terror, but because you have seen that nothing compares with me. Every other road ends in emptiness. Only the road that returns to me leads to life. And when you come home, you will see that I was never gone. You will realize that in the years you thought yourself lost, I watched over you in secret, sheltering and keeping you. I have waited not to punish, but to gather you into my embrace. Do not refuse this gentle call, for it is more than an invitation. It is the very breath of life. I am calling you now in this very moment. Answer me, dear child, for I, the one who formed you, am still waiting, still loving, still longing to walk with you to the farthest reaches of grace. Child, your soul has always cried out for me, though you deny it, though you mask it with smiles or busyness, though you soothe yourself that all is well. Deep within you, where no eye can see, there echoes a voiceless summons, the desperate cry of a soul cut off from its source. It is a nameless ache, a hollow no earthly joy can fill. You may heap up all the gold of this life, you may win the world's applause, yet the slightest distance from me will leave you parched like a wanderer in the desert, mistaking a mirage for a living spring. For I did not make you to drift, nor cast you into life to claw your way out of chaos alone. You were fashioned in love, and only within that love do you truly live. Outside my arms, every effort of yours is a structure raised on sinking sand, lovely, yet fragile, proud, yet futile. The more you strain to stand on your own, the faster the ground slides from beneath your feet, until you are spent and see that no harbor but mine can keep you from going under. This world, my child, is skillful at painting counterfeit dreams. It splashes a dazzling canvas of glory and power of applause and lights. Yet beneath the gilded glaze lies a cold emptiness, the price of a soul, bartered away in 100 tiny choices. It promises you happiness and gives you only fleeting thrills, then leaves a long ache behind. It grants you fame and steals your peace, gives you laughter and demands in exchange the endless night. But I, your maker, do not promise you ease. I give you truth, the only thing that can set you free. I give you a peace no one can take, a joy not held hostage by circumstance, and a steadfast identity that no time or tongue can shake. You are, my child, no throne can rival that name, yet you would trade this sacred inheritance for a moment's relief. Why choose crumbs over my table? Why let a passing hunger trick your soul out of its everlasting thirst? Do you remember Esau? He sold his birthright, the sacred blessing of a lineage, for a bowl of stew. He did not die of hunger that day, but his soul withered for lack of wisdom. And I ask you, are you not tracing his steps whenever you choose a fleeting pleasure and forget eternal life? Each time you place feelings, advantage, or convenience above me, you exchange the holy for the perishable. Your soul is worth more than all treasures, yet you treat it like a trinket. You were not born merely to exist, but to walk with me in every beat of your days, to live in the light, not to visit it now and then turn back toward night. My child, abide in me. Do not come and go like a passerby, for a tree cannot bear fruit if its roots touch soil only for a moment. Abide in me is not an invitation but a way of life, because apart from me you can do nothing. This is not poetic language but an eternal truth written in the blood and tears of countless souls who lost their way. You may be strong, clever, capable, but your power is fitted only for this world. It cannot save you. Knowledge may unveil the workings of the cosmos, yet it cannot fill the hollow in your heart. Relationships may ease your loneliness, yet they cannot make you whole. Only only my love can fill the deepest place in your soul, the place no one else can reach, the place made for you to belong to me. Each time you stray from me, you choose barrenness over abundance, thirst over living water, death, while I am offering life in fullness. And still I love you. My love does not diminish with betrayal, does not cool with neglect, does not cease in the face of resistance. I keep watch while you walk in error. I send help along your road sometimes, a stranger, sometimes an upheaval that seems random, sometimes a dream that stirs the night. Nothing you encounter is without meaning. All of it is my whisper, my child, come home. Now, my child, open your heart wide. Set aside every doubt and fear, and let each word you utter rise not only from your lips but from your whole being. Let your prayer be breath and tears, the deepest cry of your soul, a true offering without polish or pretense, just you and me in the place of unconquerable love. Almighty God, who formed me in love and waited for me with patience through every season of wandering, I bow before you, ashamed of all the times I turned from the light and let the darkness claim my heart. I know I am unworthy, yet your mercy is greater than my sin. Open my eyes to see that each breath I draw is a sign of grace, that you are still waiting for my return. Wash me in the waters of your compassion, erase each scar of the past, and place within me a new heart, a heart that knows how to love, to forgive, and to heed your call. I offer you all my ashes. In exchange, give me the breath of life and the light that comes from you alone. Merciful Father of my heart, I come to you carrying nothing but the brokenness and shame of a soul that has failed you many times. I have gone far, I have chosen roads that grieved your heart, but now I have only one desire: to come home. Do not close your heart to the cry of a lost child. Draw me out of the abyss of sin. Teach me to fear evil, to love what is good, and to live in the brightness of truth. I will no longer hide behind excuses or self-justification. I only yearn to rest in your arms, where I find a peace nothing can replace. Gracious Lord, I thank you, for you did not abandon me even when I abandoned you. I praise you that your love is stronger than my sin, and your mercy is new every morning. Thank you for not despising my weakness, but turning it into the very place where grace is revealed. I thank you for waiting, for calling, for forgiving. Without you I am only dust, but in you I live, and am loved and am restored, God of mercy. I thank you for turning the darkness within me into light. Thank you that not one of my tears is wasted, for you gather them and transform them into blessing. I praise you that you do not grow weary when I am weak, nor scorn me when I fall, but always extend your arms. Thank you for teaching me that true love never gives up, and that you yourself are that love. I offer this prayer in the holy name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Do not forget to subscribe and turn on notifications, so together we can build a strong and vibrant community of faith.